Zealand and South Africa at Lahore's Gaddafi Stadium. Let's quickly begin. Well, New Zealand have posted a formidable score of 362, which is the highest ever of this particular edition, for the loss of 6 wickets against South Africa in the second semi-final of the Champions Trophy in Lahore on Wednesday. Kane Williamson and Rachin Ravindra slammed centuries to take New Zealand to a commanding position. Williamson was dismissed on 102 by Vian Muldar, while Kagiso Rabada got rid of Rachin Ravindra for 108. The pair together added over 160 runs for the second wicket after New Zealand opted to bat. Meanwhile, Daryl Mitchell and Glenn Phillips made useful contributions in the latter part of the innings. Both of them fell short of half-centuries by 1 run. For Team South Africa, Lungi Ngidi was pick of the bowlers with 3 scalps, while Rabada backed 2 wickets. Both the teams are eyeing a place in Sunday's super finale against India, which is to be played at Dubai's International Cricket Stadium on the 9th of March, Sunday. Well, Rachin Ravindra has become the first New Zealander with multiple tons in a Champions Trophy edition. Overall, Rachin Ravindra has joined Chris Gale, Saurav Ganguly, Syed Anwar, Herschel Gibbs, Upal Tharanga, Shane Watson and Shikhar Dhawan on this elite list. And in this particular edition itself, Rachin Ravindra has become the first New Zealander to hit 2 Champions Trophy hundreds. And with this, he also joined an elite list of batters with 2 hundreds in a single edition, slamming his 5th ODI century. Whereas on the other hand, New Zealand batter Kane Williamson entered an exclusive list of players as he completed 19,000 runs in international cricket during the second semi-final of the ICC Champions Trophy against South Africa. Williamson reached the milestone in the 20th over of the innings as he scored a single against Marco Jansen. And with this, he also became the 4th fastest batter to reach the milestone, completing it in 440 innings. On the other hand, star Indian batter Virat Kohli is the fastest to reach the landmark in 399 innings, followed by Sachin Tendulkar with 432 innings and Brian Lara with 433 innings. Williamson is also the 16th man in international cricket to reach the landmark and becoming the first player from his country, which is New Zealand, to achieve this feat. He went on to bring up his 48th half-century of 62 balls, putting on a century stand with Rachin Ravindra for the 2nd wicket so far. And this all could become possible because of one more important factor, which is the toss, because New Zealand chose to bat first, considering that toss was a very crucial and important factor here. Well, the pitch, which is the Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore, favors the batters and allows them to build an opportunity in helping them posing a strong total and making it a bit pressurizing for the teams to chase the total. This has indeed been a high-scoring contest in Lahore, and we've also seen the highest ICC run which has been posed in a knockout stage in the edition of Champions Trophy, which has been done by New Zealand, posting a total figure of 362 for a loss of 6 wickets. And not only this, the current run rate has also been really commendable with 7.24, posing a very strong contest from New Zealand's side and bidding a really strong game to make it to the finals, because they have to face Team India, be it South Africa or be it England. They have to face Team India, which is coming along with a new strategy, the spin strategy, which they have to defy. So this match at Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore poses a really strong contest and a very interesting one when we talk about it. And to get you more on this, I'm joined by Mr. Ajay Mehra, who's a commentator and a former cricketer as well. Joining us on this special broadcast is Suchitra Bharadwaj, the DD India correspondent. A very good evening to both of you. A very interesting match ahead as well. Here when we talk about it, Mr. Mehra, when we talk about it, first of all, Rachin Ravindra. 100 with 1 sixer and 12 fours, and his second century in his first Champions Trophy event. A steady performance by New Zealand altogether after choosing to bat first. Did toss result give them an initial edge? And also your take on Rachin Ravindra, the 25-year-old prodigy who's creating tremors all across the Champions Trophy edition so far. Mr. Mehra.
Yeah, absolutely, Deepika. I think, he's a class act. He's a special batter because, sometimes coming from New Zealand, you feel, those batters are very, very strong with the back foot. But this batter, you see, he's a complete player. He can dominate. He can play on the front foot. Very good against spin as well. So this kind of innings, in a crunch game, in a semi-final, you're very right because toss does matter because, batting first in absolutely placid conditions at Lahore and Gaddafi Stadium. These are conditions where you want to post runs. And that's exactly what New Zealand have done here. Win the toss, Santner, choose to bat first. And then, of course, they lost an early wicket of Will Young. But then it was Ravindra and Kane Williamson who batted so well for them. Outstanding effort. That partnership, I felt, was really the key because, after that early departure of Young, you need that partnership to come along. And you mentioned about Ravindra, he's been special. He's got that flair in his batting. I think those first 50 runs were absolutely flawless. Just the way he was timing the ball, the way he was moving the crease, the concentration levels, the way he was dominating the bowlers. I think was really the key figure there. And Williamson, occupying one end up, he too got his 100. So I think New Zealand should be very happy at the halfway stage because the runs on the board are runs on the board that matter. And it's going to be pressure on South Africa. They have a very good formidable batting lineup. But, posting 362 for New Zealand almost means, South Africa will be chasing 390 because New Zealand has such a good fielding side. So it's not going to be easy for South Africa, but runs on the board really matter in a crunch game, Deepika.
And indeed, it is also about Kane Williamson today. Suchitra, coming on to you. Kane Williamson has become the first ever New Zealand player to reach the 19,000 international run score and achieving this milestone in just 370 matches with a brilliant century today. What do you think of Williamson's contribution today towards this posting of this highest ever total, which we can see in the knockout stages, Suchitra?
Yes, Deepika, good evening. If we talk about Kane Williamson has changed our perception about New Zealand's batting, I will say. Because, while growing up, we always looked at New Zealand as a team of all-rounders. They were players who could ball, who could bat, good all-rounders. But if we look at Kane Williamson, he's a pure batsman who plays classical shots, who can play well against any kind of bowling attack. There's a viral clip after that India-New Zealand match, Virat Kohli touching the feet of Akshar Patel when he took the wicket of Kane Williamson. It shows how important that wicket was for India because, that Indian players knew, Virat Kohli knew that, Williamson was the only player who could took that game away from us. Kane Williamson and Virat Kohli, they started their under-19 career together. In that under-19 World Cup final that Virat Kohli won, Williamson was the captain of the losing side, and throughout their careers, these two players have always been compared against each other when it comes to statistics. But they are world-class players. They understand the game, they understand the capabilities, and they respect each other. So Virat Kohli is important for us, yes, but Kane Williamson is, more important, I can say, to the New Zealand cricket team because when we have a Virat Kohli, we also have a Rohit Sharma, we also have a Shubman Gill. Virat Kohli has that kind of support. There's not that kind of dependence on Virat Kohli now. But when it comes to Williamson, yes, Rachin Ravindra scored that century today, but for a very long time, Kane Williamson has been the pillar of strength. He has been the, we can say, the main strength of this Kiwi batting lineup. And no matter what the records are, India plays more matches. Virat Kohli has played more matches than Kane Williamson, of course, because Kane Williamson somehow doesn't have that kind of backup, that kind of team support that Virat Kohli has got. But yes, when these two players, whenever they retire, whenever they finish their careers, the cricket fans, they will know that Kane Williamson was as important player, as great a batsman as Virat Kohli is. There are no doubts about it. Kane Williamson will go down in the history books as one of the greatest batsmen in the world cricket.
Indeed, Deepika. When we talk about the greatest batsman, the big match temperament, coming on to you, Mr. Mehra, we can see the big match temperament somewhere in Rachin Ravindra. Ravindra as well. We've seen him, scoring centuries in other ICC events also. This is his 5th ODI 100. But when we talk about today's match, doing that at a knockout stage is something that really defines his mental strength, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, because you're right, because mentally he's very strong as well, very tough mentally. And I think the biggest thing for someone like this man Ravinder is that he knows how to go about, he knows his task, and he can build that foundation. When you're playing at the international level, it's all about temperament, what kind of temperament you have. And he's done so well in the ICC tournaments. He knows how to go about. He takes his time initially, settles in, gauges the pace and bounces the surface, and then he goes along. So, that temperament really makes a difference. And that's the big difference between a normal player, a normal international player, and a great player as well. And this man, this young lad, Rachin Ravindra, is, meant for bigger things. This knock will really define his career as well because, as you mentioned, he's done well in the ICC tournaments. It's really a strange thing because the other international matches, he hasn't scored that much consistently. But surely, in ICC tournaments, he's been absolutely exceptional. Really a big talent for New Zealand. The good thing is, as I mentioned earlier, he knows how to play on the front foot as well because, he's been brought up in India. He knows the conditions pretty well. Then he moved to New Zealand. So he knows how to go about, and he's got a full game as a batter. He can play square the wicket. He can come down the track. Excellent against spin. Then he can dominate spin as well. That's exactly what he did today against Keshav Maharaj of South Africa, who was looking to pick his wicket. He was tossing the ball up. But I think where South Africa faltered, Deepika, today was none of their bowlers had economy under 5. They were all going expensive. Although Ngidi, he picked up those 3 wickets. He went for 72 runs. He was expensive. Rabada as well. Mulder, he was going at 8 runs per over. So all those bowlers were really expensive. And yes, they couldn't really stem the flow of runs. But Rachin and as Suchitra was mentioning, Kane Williamson, they are class acts. And I think Rachin, just batting along with Kane Williamson, would have learned so many things. The tricks of the trade, how to build that innings, how to go about, and that's exactly what he's done today in his approach as a batter.
We have with us Gaurav Kumar as well as Siddharth Bharadwaj. Gaurav, now when we talk about South Africa's performance today, they were not performing at par. Now, looking at the total, the mammoth total that New Zealand has posted, is South Africa under pressure? Gaurav?
Well, Deepika, this is the total which New Zealand just wanted from their batsmen, and if we talk about the Lahore pitch, it's just supporting it's not like that of Dubai pitch, just supporting for the batsmen. So it is really tough for the Proteas to play in this condition, but if they have to remove the tag of chokers from themselves, then they have to achieve 363 run targets. If we talk about the Africans batting lineup, there are many batters are there, especially if we talk about Henrik Klaasen, if we talk about David Miller, Captain Temba Bavuma. So one thing they all need, that they have to come as a unit. And if they come as a unit and if they play the game in their own fashion, they can achieve this target. But yes, definitely the pressure is on them, because it is never easy to chase this type of target under lights. Deepika.
And coming on to you, Siddharth, what could be the possible strategy that going forward from here, South Africa should follow, because this is going to be a tough game now?
Definitely, Deepika, I agree with you that this is going to be a tough game, but the biggest strategy in any game, especially when it comes to cricket matches, is to keep calm. When you have 363 run, to chase, then the strategy has to keep calm on the field and just hit balls who you think that will go out of the park. Usually what happens, that batters, when come and they're under pressure, they try to hit every ball out of the park, and that's when they depart to the dressing room. So that has, the patience is the key on featherbed pitches here in Pakistan, especially where the match is happening. If they'll keep calm, it's not like that this total, or perhaps bigger totals have also been chased, but when the players played sensibly. So that has to be the key here. The South African batters, the opening partnership, of course, has to be built in a way that when the next batter comes, the pressure is quite less on that batter. So that has to be the sensible batting is what I'm saying has to be the strategy when you're chasing down this particular target on this particular pitch, because yes, there are some challenges when you are batting second, but then by the end of the day, it's your batting only that matters. When you come on to bat and you hit some good shots out of the park, that is something which makes the difference. And singles, doubles, not let the pressure get onto you, not succumbing to the pressure. And this is what I will say that is the perfect answer when it comes to chasing 363. So yeah, definitely and as my colleague Gaurav has also said, that they have to remove the tag of chokers from them, and if this is the case, then they'll have to be they'll have to bat with a really cool mind, and they'll have to bat sensibly, only hit the balls who they think are coming onto in their radar, and not unnecessary hitting the ball under pressure, which usually we have seen in this high stakes encounter. See, this is a do or die encounter, Deepika. Once they're out, and the chokers tag will be on them. If they lose this match as well, but if they win it from here, then it will be a big morale booster for the South African team when they will be meeting India, which is again a very strong team. They haven't lost even a single match in the entire Champions Trophy. They are full of confidence. The match will take place in Dubai. The pitch conditions are really different, which is there in Pakistan. So yeah, they will have to adjust. They will have to set the mindset, because ultimately it's the mindset what matters. And if they'll win this particular encounter, Deepika, they'll have to go to Dubai and they'll have to fight it out with India, and also the tag of chokers will be removed from them. So yeah, it's a do or die encounter. Besides, it will prove many things, South African side, and it's the day when they can make it happen, because this is a pitch where they can hit big numbers. But again, I would say a sensible batting is something which they will have to look up to you. They should not hit unnecessary balls, and they should not dare wickets, especially the opening partnership, and I believed in number 4 or 5.
All right, thank you so much, Siddharth, for joining us. Coming on to you, Mr. Mehra, when we talk about sensible batting, we also just showed our viewers the batting lineup of South Africa. What could be the possible strategy? This is going to be a different game altogether. The chokers tag is also consistently there, but they are trying to create a new record. But you just mentioned the bowling performance we saw from the South Africans. What is it that they can really do? Because seems like it is going to be a New Zealand versus India final.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a daunting chase, Deepika. No doubt about that, because it's not going to be easy for sure. Anything over 300 now, it's 350 plus. 363 the target. So they, the first thing is that the first 10 overs, when the ball is hard, is new as well, they have to capitalize on that. And also, on the other hand, see, they don't lose too many wickets up front, because within the 10 overs, if you lose a couple of wickets, then you're always on the back foot, you're always catching up. So you have to play the new ball well. They have David Miller, they have Klaasen, they have the batting resources. It's going to be a test for them. And if they do it, I tell you what, if they can achieve this target, it's going to be, a big confidence booster for South Africa, because against a quality side, against a quality attack, chasing over 350 runs is not going to be easy. So if they do that, I think they'll be going to the final with a lot of confidence. This is a game of cricket, a game of glorious uncertainties. You never know, one good knock, one big 100, other batsmen chipping in, they could still achieve it. But yes, I feel it's going to be daunting, because New Zealand, if they get 360, I believe, you have to chase 390, because 30 runs you can add for the fielding, that catches, what they have done in this tournament. We saw that catch of Virat Kohli that was exceptional against New Zealand. So they are such a quality side. And I think runs on the board in a big game, in a crunch game, they make a big difference, Deepika.
Because Gaddafi, Suchitra, coming on to you, Gaddafi Stadium is altogether a different pitch when we talk about it, favouring the batters. But when the finals would be taking place, any team that goes on from here to Dubai International Stadium is going to be a different deal altogether. What are the differences that we see between both the pitches? Because whosoever goes to Dubai International Cricket Stadium from here would not only have to face the spin-friendly approach of Team India, but also the pitch conditions there. Suchitra.
Well, Deepika, New Zealand has already played against India in Dubai, and as we also know, that India-New Zealand match was supposed to end on Sunday late night, and the first semi-final was supposed to be played on Tuesday. So there was not much time. So even South Africa and Australia, they travelled to Dubai even before that India versus New Zealand match was over. So both the teams have actually been there. New Zealand has already played there, so they know the conditions, and these are international players. They know how to adapt quickly. So yes, of course, as it is looking right now, India may face New Zealand again, but South Africa will have to do something different if they want to make it to the finals. And as you were showing the batting lineup, and Ajay was also telling me, I think we learn from our history, so we can also take inspiration from our history. And we all still remember that match, the wonder at Wanderers. So South Africa has that record of chasing the highest total in one-day cricket. So all South African team needs is an inspiration from their own history. Someone has to play a knock, the way Herschel Gibbs played in that match. So the heroes are created in such kind of situations. So the match has just started. If it was in Dubai, then this total was definitely a winning total. But because this match is in Gaddafi, so we can always say there's always an outside chance. The miracles do happen, and it can always happen in an ICC event. So let's just hope that the better team wins, and India is if they have to become the champion, they are ready to defeat any team. If they want to win this Champions Trophy, they are ready to face any opponent. For this particular match, I think for the cricket fans to enjoy a good cricket, we want to see a good contest, and we want to these South African batsmen to go all guns blazing to try and chase this total, because it is difficult, but it is not impossible.
Right,
Deepika.
and the match has started, and the current score is 8 for a loss of no wicket. Thank you so much, Mr. Mehra. Thank you so much, Suchitra, and thank you so much, Gaurav and Siddharth, for joining us and bringing us a rounded perspective on the ongoing match, second semi-final between New Zealand and South Africa. And now that we are just a game away from the final contender who will take on India at the Champions Trophy Super Finale, let's take a look at how Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma and co are already sending tremors to the remaining semi-finalists as they currently take on each other for the final spot at the Champions Trophy. The ultimate winner will face Team India on Sunday in Dubai. Here's a report by Faiz Khan that takes you through the all-guns blazing journey of superstar Virat Kohli. Take a look.
India roared into the finals of the ICC Champions Trophy on Tuesday after beating Australia by 4 wickets at Dubai International Cricket Stadium. Interestingly, one player consistently held the ground, delivering masterclass knocks and chasing down the highest ever score against Australia in the knockout stages of ICC ODI events. From taking Indian team into the finals of this tournament to achieving several milestones, it is indeed true that there is a lot of cricket left in him. And we are talking about none other than King Virat Kohli. Let's now take a look at the journey of the star batter in this tournament. Virat Kohli scored 22 against Bangladesh in group stage encounter on the 20th of February. Against Pakistan, he scored 100 in the group stage on the 23rd of February. Against New Zealand, he made 11 in the group stage on the 2nd of March. And against the semi-final clash against Australia, he scored 84. Marking the 74th ODI half-century of his career, Virat Kohli attained several new landmarks through the course of his latest appearance for Team India. In the process, Virat Kohli soared past Sachin Tendulkar in the highest number of 50-plus scores in ICC ODI events. Tendulkar has 23 50-plus scores, while Virat Kohli now has 24 such scores to his name. Virat Kohli became the first cricketer in the history to breach the 1,000-run mark in such scenarios. He now holds 1,023 runs across all knockout matches of ICC ODI tournaments. Virat Kohli became India's leading run-getter in ICC Champions Trophy's history, going past Shikhar Dhawan's tally. And he currently sits on an illustrious pile of 746 runs from 16 innings. Virat Kohli joined Sachin Tendulkar as only the second batter to cross 8,000 runs in ODI run chases in just 170 matches. Virat Kohli won his 7th Player of the Match in ICC ODI events, which is the 3rd most by any player. Kohli became the fielder with the second most number of catches in ODI history, surpassing Ricky Ponting's feat of 160. Virat Kohli also became the fastest batter to reach the milestone of 14,000 ODI runs, getting there in his 287th innings in the Champions Trophy.
विराट ने बहुत ही शानदार पारी खेली और वो ऐसी पारियां देश के लिए बहुत सारी खेल चुका है, सभी जानते हैं, तभी सब उसको इतना ज्यादा लाइक करते हैं, इतना प्यार करते हैं और उनको किंग कोहली कहा जाता है, क्योंकि बड़े स्टेज पे जब भी बड़ा मैच होता है, मैंने हमेशा कहा है कि वो बड़े मैच का बड़ा प्लेयर है.
I came from India just for the game today. It's fantastic. I'm going back to catch the flight. Such a fantastic experience. Virat has been all over RC bowling. It's awesome to be here today.
Now with India entering the super finale of the Champions Trophy, a lot will be at stake for Rohit and co and a lot of expectations from King Kohli as well. With inputs from Faiz Khan, DD India.
And we now expect more records in the super finale, which is scheduled to be played on the 9th of March, Sunday, at Dubai International Cricket Stadium. You just saw a report on Virat Kohli, and we are hoping we can add more to the numbers that we just saw. With this, it's a wrap here on this special broadcast of Clash of the Titans. We'll be right back with more news and updates, which will follow here on DD India. Keep tracking. Namaskar.
This week on Defense Dynamics, the geopolitics in Europe is undergoing a major shift after the Trump-Zelensky clash. How will this affect the continent's security and alliances? As Europe rethinks